Welcome to Devotional Drops, where we explore the richness of Scripture and how it speaks to our lives today. In this episode, we're reflecting on ancient prophecies shaping modern lives. It might sound far-fetched, but today we're exploring how words written thousands of years ago are still bringing hope and transformation to people around the world.
That's quite a bold claim. What exactly are we diving into today?
Well, we're looking at a passage from the book of Isaiah, specifically chapter 9, verses 2 through 7. It's a prophecy that's been captivating hearts and minds for generations, and it's particularly relevant during the holiday season.
Hmm, I'm intrigued. What makes this passage so special?
It's all about hope emerging from darkness. The imagery is incredibly powerful. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. It's a universal theme that resonates with people across cultures and time periods.
That does sound compelling. How do you think this ancient text applies to our modern world?
Well, think about it. We're living in a time of unprecedented uncertainty, global pandemics, political divisions, economic instability. Many people feel like they're stumbling around in the dark. This passage offers a vision of light piercing through that darkness.
I can see how that would be appealing. But isn't it just offering false hope?
That's a fair question. But here's the thing, this isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything's fine. It's about finding strength and purpose, even in difficult times. The passage goes on to talk about joy so profound, it's compared to the celebration after a bountiful harvest.
Oh, that's an interesting analogy. Can you expand on that a bit?
Sure, you know how farmers work tirelessly for months, facing all sorts of challenges droughts, pests, unpredictable weather. But when harvest time comes, there's this overwhelming sense of relief and joy. It's not just happiness, it's a deep seated contentment that comes from perseverance paying off.
That makes sense. So this prophecy is promising that kind of joy?
Exactly. And it goes even further. It talks about freedom from oppression, using some pretty vivid imagery broken yokes, shattered rods, burning battle gear. It's painting a picture of complete liberation.
Wow, that's pretty intense. But how does this connect to the idea of a child being born?
That's where it gets really interesting. The passage pivots to this promise. For to us, a child is born. To us, a son is given. And this child is given some pretty impressive titles: Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
Those are some big shoes to fill. How do you reconcile the image of a vulnerable baby with these grand titles?
Well, that's part of what makes this message so compelling. It's this idea that hope and strength can come from unexpected places. It's not about a mighty warrior or a powerful king. It's about a child who will bring transformation.
Hmm. I can see how that would resonate with people. We often underestimate the power of small beginnings.
Exactly. And, this isn't just ancient history. People today are still finding hope and meaning in these words. I was reading about a woman in Syria who found comfort in this passage during the Civil War. In the midst of literal darkness and conflict, these words gave her a sense of peace and purpose.
That's really powerful. It's amazing how words written so long ago can still have such an impact.
Absolutely. And I think that's because they speak to something universal in the human experience. We all face times of darkness, whether it's personal struggles or global crises. This passage offers a vision of light breaking through, of joy in the midst of hardship.
So, how do you think people can apply this message in their daily lives, especially during the holiday season when there's so much going on?
Well, I think it starts with being intentional about looking for those moments of light in our daily lives. It's easy to get caught up in negativity, especially with the constant barrage of news and social media. But if we can train ourselves to notice the good things, the moments of kindness and beauty, it can really shift our perspective.
That makes sense. It's like developing a new habit or muscle, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's also about being willing to be that light for others. Whether it's reaching out to a friend who's going through a tough time, volunteering in our community, or just being more patient and kind in our everyday interactions. These small actions can create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond what we might imagine.
That's beautiful. It's taking this ancient message and making it relevant and actionable in our modern lives.
Absolutely. And there's some interesting research that backs this up. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude and focusing on positive experiences can actually rewire our brains over time, making us more resilient and optimistic.
Oh, that's fascinating. Do you have any specific examples?
Well, a study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who wrote down 3 good things that happened to them each day for a week showed increased happiness and decreased depressive symptoms for up to 6 months afterward. It's a simple practice, but it can have profound effects.
Wow, that's really encouraging. It shows how small actions can lead to big changes over time.
Exactly. And I think that's part of what makes this passage from Isaiah so powerful. It's not just about some distant future or abstract concept, it's about here and now and the choices we make every day.
So, as we wrap up, what would you say is the key takeaway from our discussion today?
I think the main message is that hope is not just a passive feeling, but an active choice. It's about how we choose to see the world and how we choose to live in it. This ancient prophecy reminds us that even in the darkest times, there's always the possibility of light breaking through.
That's really inspiring. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Well, as we head into the holiday season and the new year, I'd encourage everyone to look for those moments of light in their own lives. And more than that, to be that light for others. Because you never know how a small act of kindness or moment of connection might impact someone else's life.
Well said. Thank you for this enlightening discussion.
Thank you. And to all our listeners, remember, even in the darkest night, dawn is on its way. Keep seeking those glimmers of light and be the light for others when you can. Until next time, take care, everyone.